Now, let's talk about the big news coming out of Iraq. The country is planning to shift from traditional paper currency to a fully digital form of money. This isn't just speculation. The Central Bank of Iraq has made it official. They're preparing to eliminate physical banknotes and replace them with a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. This is a major development not only for Iraq's economy, but also for its role in the global financial system. The digital transition signals Iraq's intent to modernize and become more competitive on the world stage. But with such a massive change comes a lot of uncertainty. One of the most pressing questions is, what happens to the existing paper currency? Most likely, Iraq will implement a formal process and set a deadline by which people must exchange their old banknotes for the new digital currency. This has raised concerns, especially among foreign investors and Iraqi citizens who have held on to these notes for years. The big issue here is that while Iraq wants to go digital, it can't afford to alienate legal investors or citizens who are holding legitimate banknotes. Doing so could have serious legal and economic consequences. So how will this exchange actually work? That's still unfolding, but the expectation is that individuals will be able to convert their dinars either through their local banks or through forex markets. The transition will need to be carefully managed to avoid confusion, prevent fraud, and maintain confidence in the new system. Now let's rewind a bit to understand the historical context. The Iraqi dinar has been around since the 1930s. It replaced the Indian rupee and became Iraq's official currency. However, during the 1990s, amid wars, sanctions, and economic instability, the dinar lost much of its value. Inflation skyrocketed, and the currency became practically worthless in many situations. This led to the introduction of what are known as the 3-0 notes, denominations like 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000 dinars. These notes were a response to extreme inflation and an attempt to keep the economy functioning. But now, Iraq is looking to turn the page. One of the strategies being considered is a redenomination, which would involve removing the 3 zeros from the currency. This would help simplify transactions and potentially restore trust in the dinar. Instead of carrying around large bills for simple purchases, people could use smaller denominations, making everyday commerce easier and more practical. But this isn't just about making things easier for Iraqis. There's also a bigger picture. A stronger, more stable currency could attract more foreign investment and boost trade. Investors are watching closely because currency stability often signals a healthier, more reliable economy. In terms of next steps, the Iraqi government has already announced timelines and concrete plans for the exchange. Citizens will likely be given a specific window of time to trade in their old notes for the new currency, whether it's physical or digital. This is being done to ensure a smooth transition, protect people's assets, and minimize losses during the shift. It's a delicate process, and transparency is going to be key. If you happen to have any Iraqi dinar notes, this could be an opportunity you don't want to overlook. But let's be realistic. While there's plenty of excitement in some circles, no one should expect to become a millionaire overnight. The success of this currency reform depends on careful implementation, cooperation from financial institutions, and most importantly, public trust. We've heard from people on the ground in Iraq. In a recent interview, one market vendor expressed both relief and hope. He said he remembers when prices would change overnight, making it hard to plan or even afford basic necessities. Now, with a new digital currency on the horizon, he sees a future with more predictable pricing and economic stability. Of course, not everyone feels the same. Some citizens remain cautious, holding on to their 3-0 notes and waiting to see how things play out. Their skepticism highlights why public education and clear communication from the government are so crucial during this process. In the middle of all this, the role of the media becomes incredibly important. People need access to accurate, up-to-date information about what's happening, what the deadlines are, and how to go about exchanging their money. Miscommunication or misinformation could create panic and disrupt the entire process. That's why platforms like denominations.com are helpful. because they gather the most relevant news in one place, allowing people to make better informed decisions. Meanwhile, there are larger financial shifts happening as well. In recent months, the Iraqi dinar has started to gain some value, which has caught the attention of global currency watchers. Anytime a currency shows signs of appreciation, it can signal that a country's economy is stabilizing or recovering. But we also have to consider the broader economic landscape. Around the world, rising trade tensions and inflation have pushed people to rethink their financial strategies. In Iraq, for example, many people have been moving away from US dollars and instead investing in gold. Gold, after all, is a time-tested store of value. When people lose confidence in paper money or see inflation eroding their purchasing power, gold becomes a safe haven. And this trend isn't limited to Iraq. It's something we've seen across the globe. What's interesting is how everyday citizens in Iraq are responding to economic uncertainty by taking proactive steps. They're not just waiting for government solutions. They're diversifying, buying gold, and looking for ways to protect their wealth. That's a smart move and shows a growing understanding of financial literacy among the population. All of this points to an important takeaway. When faced with economic instability, people tend to seek stability in tangible assets. This is a valuable personal finance lesson for all of us. Whether you're in Iraq or elsewhere, it's important to think about how you can safeguard your finances during uncertain times. Diversifying your assets, understanding market trends, and staying informed are key steps toward financial resilience. Now let's bring it back to you. Have you ever held Iraqi dinar? Are you curious about how this shift might impact the global economy? Are you thinking about investing in gold or exploring other forms of secure long-term value? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share your experience or opinion. Whether you're an investor, a curious observer, or someone just beginning to explore these topics. As we continue to track this evolving story, one thing is clear. Changes in Iraq's currency could have far-reaching effects, not just for the country itself, but for markets around the world. That's why it's so important to stay tuned, stay curious, and stay prepared. Financial change is rarely simple, but with the right information, we can all make smarter decisions. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. We'll continue bringing you the latest updates on Iraq's currency reform and other major developments in the financial world. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep learning.